massive strike could be brewing at UPS. It's the world's biggest package courier.
We've got the biggest battle on our hands with this company. This company is having record profits, and they're treating our members like shit.
Contract negotiations between UPS and the Teamsters union, but labor experts do predict drivers and package handlers will go on strike. It would be the largest strike against a single business in our nation's history.
We've made it clear that we will not be working beyond August 1st without a contract.
This is going to impact our nation's supply chain.
Hi guys, and welcome to Trucking Along with Kearsey. That's me, your positive voice in trucking. And if you've been keeping up to date with the Teamsters strike, the potential to strike, then you may know that they are planning on voting this week whether or not they should strike if the Teamsters do not come to a contract agreement with UPS by August 1st. Since COVID, our mail orders have gone through the roof, and this could really impact a lot of different divisions. FedEx is trying to say they're not going to go and step in. My own family is made up of a bunch of postal workers. My brother, who works at a processing center on a package processing machine that I used to work on too, he was saying that the volume has dropped so much that at Christmas, which is normally like heavy duty overtime, they didn't even have any overtime this year. So the UPS going on strike like they did back in the 90s could really like boom the Postal Service, FedEx and UPS are not running as many airplanes anymore. So this is another sign that the volumes are down. So if one particular carrier winds up taking that volume and they don't have the number of drivers to distribute it, they may wind up going to independent contractors. So you may see an upswing in in the owner ops with FedEx, or even with the post office. The Postal Service will do temporary contracts. Years ago, I worked at the post office for 17 years, so a lot of the local deliveries that go from the processing centers to the individual postal offices are actually contracted small fleets. And I mean 5 to 10 trucks. At least it was in the processing center I worked in. So it's possible UPS strike could cause an uptick in freight. It's also possible that with the election coming up, New Hampshire primaries are in February. So how's the Biden administration, how the Democrats going to get reelected if they can't show some sort of an improvement, even if it's a slight one? You can't just go and it doesn't matter what party's in office. If the economy's bad, what are you going to say? 4 more years of not being able to afford anything, and prices going through the roof, food being ridiculously expensive. Fuel prices going up, so they're going to have to do something to try to improve that and bolster consumer confidence too. I want you to comment down below and let me know, what do you think about union jobs? Because a lot of the local jobs are hourly, and they are union. Being a member of the National Mail Handlers Union at the Postal Service, I was a member for 17 years, and one downside that I saw was because everybody was like an equal pay for longevity, equal pay for seniority dates, it meant that people could be bums and other workers weren't, there was no incentive to be a good worker. In the trucking industry, and I admit, haven't done it, okay? Never worked a union job in the trucking industry. Been at Prime for almost 8 years now, as a company driver. Totally admit it. But my friends have a tendency to complain that, when they went new into those union jobs, they got the worst routes, they got the worst shifts. You'd have to wait a while. You're still competing for time off. If you were trying to work overtime and you got delayed, then if you didn't get a 34 in before your bid job started, say on Monday, and you got delayed weather from Saturday on the overtime job that you were doing, you were actually considered late for your Monday position. So, you have to really be careful your hours of service when you're trying to make up extra money. I personally didn't like the fact that the bums had no incentive to become better workers, and I always felt like you'll never turn a bum into a good worker, but you can turn a good worker into a bum. As soon as that good worker feels like they're not appreciated, as soon as that good worker feels like there's no incentive to do well, then they're not going to try as hard. One thing that people have said to me is, well, the unions are what makes the pay good and instills great benefits and all that. I have great benefits, so much so I don't want to give them up. That's why I'm still a company driver. I have a great 401k. I have great health insurance. My health insurance and my vision insurance is actually better than what I had as a federal employee. Go figure, right? So, and it actually costs less. So when people say to me, oh, no, you could do better. Nah, already been there. I had a Teamster rep that was at one of my customers, one of my receivers one time, and he was there trying to promote, we need to unionize, brotherhood and blah, blah, blah. And if I felt disrespected, if I felt unappreciated, if I felt the need, then yes, maybe I would be more interested in looking for a union job, or heck, I'm one of those people, I'd go start a freaking union and bring them in. But I just never felt that way. Not in trucking. It's the complete opposite. I feel as though if I do my job and I do it well, I get rewards. If I do my job well, I get a good paycheck. If I create good drivers, I get a better paycheck with the training. We get incentives all the time. Even this jacket is, one of my awards for, I've had this jacket a long time. This is like our first year safety award. And, there's plenty of other jackets, and I have like a diamond ring that they give me a new diamond every year. And so I feel appreciated. I feel rewarded. I don't feel the need to go and join a union or look specifically for a union job. In my experience, people who did look for such jobs had bad experiences at other jobs where they felt that was needed and necessary. Okay, at the post office, I do think that the management could be abusive. Even with the union, the management usually didn't follow the rules. And then you would grieve it, and the grieving process would take years, and eventually we'd all get paid, and they'd fire people, and then it would take years and arbitration, and then these people would come back and they'd get paid. And we had this one guy who'd been there like 30 years, and he had been fired like 6 or 7 times in those 30 years, and then they would have to pay him back. So he would like get a whole year off, then get paid, and then get vacation pay and overtime pay and all that. And then, some of it was just really ridiculous stuff. I haven't experienced that here at Prime. And regardless of what people say, people will tell me, oh, you could go find a better job. Well, I don't want to. It's funny because people will say things like that, and then I'll say, well, how long you been trucking? Oh, well, 5 years. How many jobs have you had? This is my 7th company. This is your 7th company in 5 years, and you want to give me career advice? Nah. Bye. So comment down below and let me know. Are you pro-union or against union? Do you think that there's just good and bad? Like a lot of times it's the pensions or the union spends too much money. That did happen at the postal union I was with, that they were spending an exorbitant amount of money on stupid stuff. So would you join a union? Do you look specifically? And tell me why. And like, comment, subscribe. Check out these videos over here. Like, comment, subscribe, ring the notification bell, and I hope to see you out here trucking along. Bye.